Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is September 12th, 2022. Hope you're having a great day wherever you guys are. Happy Monday. And let's get into it, right? So, I left off yesterday telling you guys that we were likely to experience a bit more upside, and that upside we did experience, okay? We went up from this region right here and created one more leg up, okay? That was a fifth wave on the small time frames. And yesterday I did take time to really put everything in context as best I could and let you guys know that whether or not you understand it, this is a unique and pivotal time. Pivotal, that's the accurate word. It's a pivotal time in cryptocurrency history, okay? You don't always get market bottoms or market tops, okay? A lot of times, most of the time, mathematically speaking, you're somewhere in the middle. But when you're at the top or at the bottom, that represents a massive opportunity if you're able to recognize it, okay? If you're able to recognize it, then you can capitalize on it and take advantage of that opportunity. That is huge, okay? This, my friends, for many reasons that we've discussed ad nauseum on this channel for the past few months, represents a macro bottom, okay? We are at the bottom of a market, okay? I always want to reiterate that. It can't be said enough. You have to keep this in context or else really you don't get it, right? This is the main game you're playing. Anything that we talk about on the smaller time frames is good and well, but when you're at a macro bottom or a macro top, you really need to emphasize that, okay? What happens on the hourly, 4-hourly time frame doesn't really matter. Even the daily time frame doesn't really matter, all right? When you're kind of in the sideways accumulation, okay, you can talk smaller time frames. This is more relevant. But the way you really change your life, change the lives of those you love, those around you, is by recognizing these big opportunities, macro tops, macro bottoms. And I've said before on the channel, use your momentum indicators, right? You can definitely train on reading price action, and you should, because it really, really helps. But use your indicators, a good, simple indicator. Learn how to use it properly and reliably. And you can see this represents a macro top, and this obviously represents a macro bottom, and you could have identified a macro bottom for quite some time, since the beginning of 2022, and this is why I've been bullish on this channel for some time. Some of you may label me a perma bull, if you will, or some people may say, oh, he's always saying price is going to go up or is likely to go up, or he's always accumulating for a long. And if you've joined the channel since 2022, you will have realized that I've been looking long, not just as a result of this macro indicator, this stochastic RSI on the monthly time frame, but also just looking at the price action, trying to guess at when this double zigzag was going to end. At the time, I didn't know it was a double zigzag. But anyway, all that being said is keep all of that in context, keep all of that in mind. When we talk about the smaller time frames, we're only just talk about the smaller time frames, but what you want to do is you want to accumulate these regions for the move up. And what a lot of people, I mean a lot of people, completely misunderstand, because they're chart illiterate, I'll have to say, okay? And that's no disrespect to them, because it's challenging to read charts. A lot of people have wrong is that they think, that this price action right here is going to continue. They think that what we've been experiencing since March of 2021, this flat correction, this ABC flat correction, is somehow, some way going to continue, and so their targets for Bitcoin to the upside are within this range. That is a huge mistake. They don't recognize this right here as being a flat correction, and in that same vein, they don't recognize the previous trend, the previous impulse. Okay, I ask you all to do your own homework. Don't take anybody's word for it. Don't take my word for it. But if you've been with me long enough, you understand the rudiments of Elliott wave theory. It's very clear to see. This is an impulse. Okay, we can look at it on a larger time frame, or sorry, on another chart, and it's even more clear. But this is an impulse. This is an intrawave correction. Even though this took 450 days or 480 days, it's still an intrawave correction, meaning your minor wave. All right, let's get more specific here. And I will do this every single episode. If one person benefits from this, then it's worth it. Because the beauty, the magic of Elliott wave theory is the context that it provides. The context that enables you to see the larger picture. And the way you win at trading is seeing the larger picture, betting on the larger picture, and sort of making an asymmetric bet towards one way or another. Not necessarily trying to perfectly guess all the small moves. Like, that is a low probability affair, right? So once again, most people don't read charts, okay? Let's just say it. So they don't know, or they don't recognize this as being an impulse and this as being a correction, this as being a consolidation. It's very clear once you see it here, isn't it? Right? Impulse, correction, consolidation, back to impulse. So if anybody's telling you, oh, Bitcoin by 70K by 2024, you know they don't know what they're talking about, and that's okay. Again, I'm not denigrating anyone. I'm not speaking down on anyone. Like, this is not easy to do. This is something I've spent tens of thousands, not 10,000 hours, tens of thousands of hours to try to hone, okay? And there's no such thing as perfect. You just get fluent, like, you know what I mean? Like, you learn how to read, and you learn how to read higher levels and higher levels and higher levels, and maybe you get better, and then you learn how to write, and so on and so forth. I'm on my path. I'm educating myself. I'm in the process of doing that in reading charts. And if you read charts, it's quite clear, okay? But if you don't know, you don't know, and that's okay. So just understand what we're doing here. We are in the process of accumulating for a very large move up, right? Much larger than most people estimate, much people sort of appreciate. And it's okay, and it makes sense because people have recency biases, and the past 450 days don't they don't, it's hard having experienced 450 days of a flat correction, all right, this concerted price action, thinking that the price can move up and out of this correction and do this again. It's hard, okay? So you have to understand, it's very natural that people think that, 70K or 60K is a top for Bitcoin in 2024 or something like that, and Bitcoin will continue to move slowly. Okay, at some point it's just going to run. And as it runs, most of the rest of the crypto market is going to do the same thing. This is what you're preparing for. This is the bottom. So that out of the way, let's talk about the smaller time frames. And again, the smaller time frames, why do we talk about the smaller time frames? Simply because this is a daily show. Simply because we read price action, and you may want to amuse yourself and take some small low time frame trades, or you're interested just because in knowing what the price is going to do. That's fine. It's there's no issue in looking at small time frame price action. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do right now, guys. If you're getting value, please like, share, and subscribe, and let me know where you're listening from, where you're watching from. Okay, let's see. Hey, Juyung, what's up? All right, so that being said, what I'm seeing on the smaller time frame is what I said the other day, guys. We are going to very likely experience a small time frame pullback, okay? You put in 5 waves here, okay? That's Elliott wave theory. 5 waves up, 3 waves down, okay? And I'm counting 5 waves, all right? I'm counting an extended third wave right here, okay? And then a 5th wave that's approximately the size of the first wave. Everything here checks out, okay? This isn't bad at all. For people who think this is bearish, they don't understand price action because nothing goes up in a straight line. You have to matriculate in a healthy way where you're not just putting in straight sort of God candles, but you're retracing, occasionally. And so this is your occasional retrace where you get your 5 waves up and your 3 waves down. And what's really important, what I stated yesterday, is that you make the higher high. This is your previous high. You made the higher high. That's what's important. I said we're going to target 23. We came just shy of 23, okay? But we made the higher high, which is extremely important, okay? That's your first step. And now what you're going to do is you're putting in a pivot, right? An A wave and a B wave. You're going to put 5 waves down. That's likely going to take a few days, okay? Why do we know it's going to take a few days? Simply because in Elliott wave theory, waves of the same degree are equal or proportional in time and in price. This 5 wave move up took 4 days and 12 hours. You can expect the 3 wave move. Okay, let's zoom in. You can expect the 3 wave move to do something similar, okay? It doesn't have to be 4 days and 12 hours, but, okay, something like 4 days, 3 days, and some odd hours, all right? And that's not just the impulse to the downside. That could be, that could also be counting the consolidation reversal at the bottom. You don't really know. But thereabouts, 4 days and some odd hours would be comparable. So maybe for the rest of this work week, we can expect the price to go down, okay? That's what we're seeing on Bitcoin's price. And that would make sense here, just looking at Bitcoin's price action, because remember, this 20K level we were playing with for many days, okay? For, let's see, from August 26th to September 6th, that was like 10 days of just ranging, right? Yep, 10 plus days of ranging. Once you break that, so we dipped below, right? And we broke it. You gotta retest it, okay? Something like this, there's way too many buy orders and sell orders. There's too much liquidity. There's too much money here. Price loves money. Price is like water. It's like electricity. It flows to the region of least resistance, and gravity takes it. There's a liquidity pool here, okay? There was too much price action up and down. Price is going to come back down here, okay? And so if you take your Fibonacci retracement tool from the bottom of these 5 waves to the top, you see that the 618 or Fibonacci golden pocket, okay? The golden pocket would probably be 0.5 to 618, but your phi ratio, your 618, is exactly at the top of this range, okay? Do you see that? So don't be surprised if price comes back down here, grabs liquidity, does your consolidation reversal, and goes back up for a big move to the upside. That move right here should take you to the 30K region, okay? So this is what I'm seeing, and that would be after the 4 days, so, to begin to kick off next weekend, right? So this is what I'm seeing in the charts. It's not too complicated. It's not too kind of difficult to read. And even smaller time frames, well, yeah, let's look at the even smaller time frames. What I'm seeing here is we're possibly already putting in a wave, an impulse wave here, okay? This is possibly your wave 1, okay? and this is your 3-wave move up, okay? If price respects this phi ratio, this 618 right here, and rejects from here, okay, then this was your wave 1, this is wave 2, expect wave 3, wave 4, and then, wave 5, like so, okay? So that's what I'm seeing on the smaller time frames, all right? Now, also, always make use of your indicators, but in corroboration with your price action reads. So we read the price action. Now let's go to the daily time frame, keeping this indicator on, and what can we see? That we are just crossing bearish, on the daily stochastic RSI. So daily stochastic RSI just met, the K and the D line just met. We're completely overbought, okay? And that's fine. Sometimes in a bull run, you stay overbought for quite some time. But if you're crossing bullish or bearish like this, you're probably going to dip down, and that's okay, okay? So on the daily time frame, we crossed bearish and we're oversold, or overbought rather. On the 4-hourly time frame, we're crossed bearish, and it's likely that we do experience some more downside, right? You can see that in your indicators. On your hourly time frame, you're already crossed bearish, and you're pretty much in a free fall to the downside, okay? So you see, you can use your indicators as corroboration, and it does look like, at least on the small time frames, we did get that rejection, right? Do you see that rejection? Right at the phi ratio. So if you remember, why is the phi ratio so important? In Elliott wave theory, wave 2 does not typically breach the 618 of wave 1. If this is wave 1, this is 5 waves down. Okay, let's just do that. If this is 5 waves down, and this is 1, 2, 3 waves up, this is a zigzag up, you will respect that 618, okay? If this is a B wave, then you're going past it. You're going to break the 618, okay? But if this indeed is wave 1, and this is wave 2, then this is the limit, okay? This is where you would want to short, okay? So now we've looked at Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's kind of shown us where we're likely to go. Let's look at what moves Bitcoin, okay? So many people who they may not know, and they just may regurgitate this line. The SPX, Bitcoin follows the SPX, Bitcoin follows NASDAQ, Bitcoin follows traditional stocks, and that is not true. There's very little evidence to say that that's true. If you pull up a chart of Bitcoin and the SPX, or Bitcoin and the NASDAQ, over a considerable amount of time, do it yourselves. I welcome you. Don't take anybody's word for it. Do your own research, right? Listen to opinions if you like, but do your own research at the end of the day. Pull up a multi-year chart, just like we did for the DXY. Pull up a multi-year chart of Bitcoin versus the NASDAQ, Bitcoin versus the S&P 500, and see just how correlated they are. They're correlated, but not like they are with the DXY, okay? This is why on this channel, we keep saying, if you want to know what Bitcoin's doing, you look at the DXY, the dollar index. Actually, the dollar index moves not just Bitcoin, but pretty much all markets, okay? It's the dollar. It's the king, all right? And now if you look, what is the dollar index doing? If Bitcoin is going down for the next few days, that means the dollar index is going up. So on the daily time frame, what do we see here? Very simply, we saw this rising wedge, okay? And it's an ending diagonal, right? This is what you get at the end of an Elliott wave sequence. Wave 5 kind of ends like this in this converging rising wedge. And then you get a breakdown. And if you do pattern analysis, you know that the breakdown of a rising wedge typically comes to the base of where the wedge was formed, and that's your target, and that's the trade. If you're trading this on the small time frames or whatever time frame, this is where you take profit on that short, okay? So do expect a bounce from here, some consolidation, and if it's a larger term trend, some continuation. Do you see what I mean? So you can see at least on the large time frames, that the target for the DXY of this rising wedge breakdown has been met perfectly. Okay, so that's the daily time frame, and that coincides with why we would be bouncing in the DXY, going up on the DXY, and as a result going down in Bitcoin, because right, Bitcoin and the dollar index are inversely proportional. They're almost perfectly inversely related. Okay, and why that is simply Bitcoin and the US dollar are inversely related because the US dollar is the underlying asset. It's what people use to buy Bitcoin, right? 60% of world economies use the US dollar as a world reserve currency, right? Most people who are going to buy Bitcoin, more than 6 out of 10 people that buy Bitcoin, more than 6 out of 10 transactions that Bitcoins that are used to purchase Bitcoin, or more than 6 out of 10 transactions of Bitcoin's purchases are done from the US dollar. That means if this is a relatively stable or relatively equivocal ratio, then as the US dollar goes up in value, then Bitcoin decreases in value, and vice versa. As the US dollar goes down in value, Bitcoin increases in value. That's that inverse relationship that we're talking about, okay? So this is why you really want to look at the DXY. On the smaller time frames of the DXY, let's go on the hourly time frame. Guys, if you're getting value, please like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to like the stream. Streaming every day. We're streaming every day except for weekends. Weekends I give you quick hits, pre-recorded, but you know, this is what I do. Here, guys, you can see very clearly you have 5 waves, right? Do you see this? So from this top, you got an impulse down. This is wave 1. This is wave 2 right here. This is wave 3. This is wave 4. And this is clearly wave 5, okay? Maybe that wave 5 is not finished yet, but I think it is finished. All right, I think it is finished. Let's see if we have any indication on the volume. Do we have volume? No, we do not. We don't have volume on this chart. Okay, that's fine. This may be the end of wave 5. I think this is the end of wave 5. If it isn't, then we have one more move down, but I think just judging by Bitcoin that this is the end of wave 5, okay? So you have 5 waves, and you can even take your Fibonacci extension tools to check this count, all right? You take wave 1, retracement of wave 2. You see that wave 3 ends right around the 1618, okay? That's what you can expect, right? Wave 3 typically ends between the 1618 and the 2 Fibonacci extension. And then wave 4 comes up between the 236 and the 382 of wave 3. And then wave 5 typically gives you a 2236. You know, this is a little short, I'm not going to lie. Because typically you want your wave 5 to end at the 2236 minimum. So wave 5 may have a little more to go, just by mathematical measurement. Wave 5 may have a little more to go. You may see 1, 2, 3, 4. You may see a 5th wave here, okay? So if that's true, then you would see a little jump in Bitcoin, right? They're inversely related, but the relationship that we looked at on prior episodes was the monthly, okay? Doesn't mean that on the 5-minute chart and the hourly chart. So maybe it does go down a little bit, and Bitcoin continues to go down as well for this correction. But yeah, it is possible that this is part of this B wave, okay? This pivot, and you get something like this before you start going down. In any case, the general idea is that you're correcting, okay? So when you get into the smaller time frames, you know, there's more room for error, and this is why the smaller the time frame, the higher the variability, the higher the volatility the more room for error in your trades. Yeah. High time frame trades, especially recognizing a macro bottom of a market, and it's a high percentage kind of read. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing on the DXY. You put in your 5 waves, or you're about to put in your 5 waves, and after that, you're simply going to put in a 3-wave move. Okay, and that 3-wave move is going to be your wave 2, and that's likely, once again, to take just as long, if not similar amount of time, okay, as you did for your wave 1. Again, 4 days, 18 hours. So do expect the same time, relatively speaking, a comparable amount of time, a proportional amount of time for your wave 2, about 4 days. Okay, so that would take you once again to around the 16th, the end of this work week. You would see something like that. Okay, do you see how that works, guys? So DXY is going up for the next 4 days, more or less. Okay, and it's going up and down, but generally it's going up. It can go up in a flat correction, it can go up in a zigzag. We don't know, we don't really care. Okay, it seems to be going up, and Bitcoin seems to be going down. So this is why I'm reading a slight pullback in the next few days. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. I'm gonna just take a quick break to see if there's nothing on the chat. Juyung says, what do you reckon ETH price action after the merge? Great question, Juyung. I was actually going to talk about Ethereum next. All right, let's look at Ethereum. All right, so a lot of people, they have the idea that, I don't know, they can trade just these narratives, like the ETH merge is coming, and so everybody's gonna think, oh, that's really bullish, and then I'm gonna be like the contrarian and say, oh no, actually that's bearish, because everybody thinks it's bullish, and if everybody thinks it's not gonna happen, and so I'm going mega short. A lot of people are saying that. It's very, very, very dangerous. Be very careful. Okay, forget the narratives. This is why we do charting. Forget the narratives. Sometimes the narratives and the charts, they agree, but would you like to base your trades, would you like to put money on a narrative, on an idea, on a short time frame that you don't even know when it will play out? Or do you want to just trade what you're seeing on the charts, where you have data and patterns? It's up to you. But what I'm seeing in Ethereum is that, just like Bitcoin, we may very well experience a small pullback for the next few days. Okay, so now let's zoom out. Let's get some context. Okay, let's zoom out even more. Okay, actually, I don't like this chart. Let's go on another chart. Here we go. I should have an ETH chart here that's a little more complete. Actually, you know what? Let's go on our proper high time frame ETH chart. Okay, just like we did with Bitcoin. Same PSA as I did with Bitcoin. Guys, keep everything in context. Whether you're trading Bitcoin, whether you're trading Ethereum. I bought 2.3 ETH some weeks back, and I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that until Ethereum hits its targets to the upside. And my target is something like 500,000 or something like that. Okay? And yes, I said 500,000. It's not really a great idea to try to trade in and out, even if you're a good trader, even if you're a good chartist, because you want to let the trend do the work for you. right? Instead of trading in and out 5, 6, 7, 8 times and try to be smarter than the average bear, if you're at a macro bottom, just let it go up and get the hell out of the way, right? So here we have, by my count, Ethereum on the monthly time frame. You have a cycle count, meaning the cycles of waves, a high time frame, right? Each bar is a month. You have the first, the second, the third, and the fourth. Okay, I count the fifth. Okay, I count that we're in the fifth. Why? Okay, first and foremost, if you take the measurement of the first, retracement of the second, you can see that this third wave has come up much higher than what your typical wave 3 does. Okay, your typical wave 3 comes to this area between 1618 and 2, right? That would mean if this cycle 3 were still kind of going on, we would be at this level, right? We would be before these levels, right? But we passed that. We went all the way to the 2618. That's a wave 3 extension, okay? And in this wave 3 extension, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. Yeah, you can count 5 waves, okay? So I count 5 waves in Ethereum's cycle wave 3, okay? That basically means that all of this is cycle wave 4. And cycle wave 4, as you can see in yellow, is a complex correction, okay? So complex correction is something that you typically see. It's a flat correction you typically get in wave 4, okay? So everything checks out, okay? So you got a regular wave 1, a regular wave 2, an extended wave 3, a regular wave 4, right? That came between 236 and 382 of wave 3. You take your Fibonacci retracement tool. I hope you guys are following me. Like, this is what you use. Like, all these kind of measurements, these Elliott wave measurements, I'm not just pulling them out of thin air. All right. Let me show you something. What's it called? Kindle. That's what it's called. Okay. Like, you can find these in multiple manuals. Okay. I like to use Elliott Waves Made Simple. Right. This was the first real book that I truly studied in and out, read, dozens of times, and used as a reference manual. And you can see here, these different relationships between waves and the percentages, right? These are what you typically see. It's not what you're always going to see, but balance of probability, what you're typically going to see, okay? So you can study these things and you'll understand what I'm saying, okay? Don't take anybody's word for it. Don't take my word for it. Pick up Elliott Waves Made Simple. It's like $10 on Amazon, and read it, study it for yourself, and understand. And in addition to that, you'll see that other manuals like the wave theory, the wave principle, right, by Bob Prechter and AJ Frost, they go over all of this as well, but in more detail. Okay, so just a little bit of a side note, right? When I quote or when I reference these measurements, it's not out of thin air. Okay, I'm referencing kind of well-established ratios, well-established relationships between waves, okay? So, wave 3 is extended, okay? Wave 4 is simple, between 236 and the 382. Wave 4 is typical, right? Do you see that? So, I took the Fibonacci retracement from the beginning of wave 3 to the end of wave 3, and that retracement is between this area, between the 236 and the 382. This is where you can expect wave 4 to end. So why do I measure all of this stuff? It's because even you can look at waves, and that's fine, and you can kind of guess, but if you're correct, your measurements should your measurements should tie in with your hunch. Your measurements should tie in with your proposed wave count. You see what I mean? So for me, it's a high likelihood that were in wave 5 for Ethereum, okay? I hope you guys appreciate this. I'm really breaking down the entire price history for Ethereum from the beginning, from zero, okay? And I'm telling you why I would buy, and if ETH goes down a little bit, I would buy more, okay? Don't try to be slick, because when it does move, it's going to run, and I'm going to tell you why, okay? So I started this story telling you, a few weeks back, I bought 2.3 ETH, okay? I bought 2.3 ETH, and I do not expect to touch it until ETH goes to about $500,000, all right? And, that all is within this bull run, right? Within 6 to 8 months or something like that, right? I always say Q1 of 2023. Maybe it's, a bit into Q2. I don't know. So that's wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. So for me, Ethereum is putting in, quite simply, wave 5. Okay? And the interesting thing about this is that, okay. Sorry, I was just thinking about something. This is great. Let's work through this. So wave 3 was extended. Wave 4 was regular. Chances are that wave 5 is going to be regular. Why? If you read wave theory, if you understand Elliott wave analysis, you know that one of the things with extended waves is that you typically only get one extended wave per advance or per impulse. Okay, very rare, if ever, that you get two. But Pechter and Frost mentioned it as a possibility. Okay, but it seldom ever happens. 95% of the time, if you get one extended wave, what you're gonna get is a regular wave here and a regular wave there. Okay, actually, you might even get a concerted wave in wave 5 if wave 3 was extended and wave 1 was regular. Okay, and so what am I going to do now? Let's do this. Given this information, what we're going to do is we're going to project wave 3, okay? Wave 5, rather, using wave 3 and the retracement of wave 4. And we know wave 5 typically projects to the 618, okay? That would project to the 618, all right, of that. Okay, that's in a regular wave 5 using this, these proportions that I discussed, okay? Another way to project wave 5 would be to take the inverse 1618 of wave 4. Okay, and that would give you around your wave 5 target, which in this case is about 9,000, okay? So those are two waves. Now, I did say that there were certain instances where you got double extensions. And I've only seen one in my whole time, my whole career, and it was in Ethereum. So it's possible. If you're going to get a double extension, so an extension in wave 3, as well as an extension in wave 5, it's going to be in this asset. It's extremely bullish, right? And everything, like, mathematically kind of works for that, because fundamentally you're having a triple halving. Okay, a triple halving is, you're having the supply, you're changing from proof of work to proof of stake, right? All that stuff. And there's another thing that reduces the supply in such a way that you can create a massive supply squeeze to get that fifth wave extension. Okay, so I don't put that past Ethereum. I do not know. Now, let's focus on this wave 5. What have we gotten so far? This cycle wave 5. Guys, if you're appreciating this analysis, please like, share, and subscribe. This is, I try to keep it as based in actual fact, in actual analysis, and not like what I hope and wish and pray and just random conjecture, but I'm basing this on, all of my skills in reading markets, right? This is what I do in my free time. I enjoy doing this. Even if nobody was watching, I would do this because I do this anyway. So if you're getting value, I would appreciate your liking the video. I'm looking at this and thinking, where are we at? What are we doing? And this is interesting to me. This is very interesting to me because this might be it. There's a possibility that this is it. Why? If you take this right here, you can see that you've kind of come down. Well, you didn't come down to wave 4. Let's say this was wave 4. Let's say, no, this was wave 4 right here. Let's go on the weekly time frame. I'm trying to figure this out, and I had another idea recently. Like, I know I said 500,000 a few moments ago, but I'm questioning that now. I'm questioning that. I really, this looks to me very, very simply, right? Like obviously a correction, a flat correction, right? An ABC flat correction. A, B, C, right there. Very simple. This may be extended. This may be extended, okay? Because I see here, one, two, three, four, 5. You had a regular wave 3, you had a regular wave 4, and an extended wave 5. ETH loves extensions, wave extensions, okay? And this 382 retracement to 980 is what you would expect. It's the minimum retracement for a wave 2 correction, okay? Wave 2 should retrace to a minimum of 382 to a maximum of the 618 of the prevailing 5-wave advance, okay? And that's what you got. If this were an initial break of structure, if this was over, first and foremost, I don't think it's over, okay? This is why I don't think it's over, and this is why I said 500,000 before. And I kind of had to remember why I projected ETH to so high. Remember what we said about wave 5 projections, right? You can project wave 5 in 2 ways. In one way, you could take wave 3, retracement of wave 4. We did that, and that gives us about 12,500, right? So wave 3, retracement of wave 4, that gives us the 618, 12,500. We haven't hit that, okay? So it's unlikely that the target's been met. We have not hit that, and we retraced quite substantially before that. That tells me if you're consolidating at resistance, you're looking for more, okay? And again, the second way, we take the inverse Fibonacci retracement of wave 4, inverse 1618 of wave 4, that gives you 8,000. We haven't hit that yet. We're consolidating at resistance, right? You went shy of 8,000. You consolidated for 450 days, right? How long was this? Remember, this is the weekly chart. Every bar is a week's worth of price action. So yeah, so 400 days of this flat correction, right, that we put in here. Let's just put it in quite simply as an ABC flat correction. Right here. So yeah, I think it's very likely that you're gonna get a double type of impulse, and this is why people trying to short Ethereum, even on the small time frames, have lost their minds. You've lost your mind. If of all, just technically speaking, purely technically speaking, Okay, I'm not even looking at the fundamentals, but of course, this all is reflected in the fundamentals. If you look at Ethereum, it's literally one of the only assets that I've ever studied that has put in, I think it was around here, and Dan Dowd of Dan Dowd Trading also noted this. I was talking to him about this. Somewhere in cycle wave 3, I'm not going to look at it now, but you've put in 2 extensions. I think it was, yeah, a wave 3 extension and a wave 5 extension right here. You don't see that often, if ever. This is the only time I've ever seen that, okay? So if you put in 2 extensions, and now you have, so you came out with a cycle wave 3, extended cycle wave 3, and you're looking like you're going to do it again in cycle wave 5, why would you short anything that bullish, right? And to add to that, a triple halving, right? Don't be so smart, or don't try to be too clever and short this. This is absolutely mad. This may be Ethereum, despite its position as a number 2 market cap, may be the most bullish asset in crypto, period. I said that. Ethereum, despite its place as being a number 2 market cap in the cryptocurrency market cap, may be the most bullish asset in all of crypto, just technically speaking, because I've never seen a double extension like this. Okay, and so 2 reasons I gave you, 2 projections of wave 5, and they're not met. Basically, we came short of that and we consolidated. We did a 400-day type of intra-wave consolidation. And what's really bullish about this is it's not an initial break of structure. So the difference between this being 5 waves and then it quitting and going back up, it's if this was an initial break of structure, it would not look like this. Okay? If this were an initial break of structure for a big move down, right? It would be much larger. Right? Because your initial breaks of structure, remember, they target wave 4 of the previous trend. So it would have been down here and then back up here, consolidate, and then go down. Okay? So this is intra-wave right here. This tells me you're going up. And then the last reason I think you're going to put in a wave 5 extension, which is why in the beginning of this analysis for Ethereum, I said I'm not touching it until $500,000, okay, is for this reason. You want to look, like I say all the time, at the higher time frames and use your momentum indicators. Look at the stochastic RSI. Look at where it's at. Okay? It's on the monthly time frame. You've put in a double bottom on the monthly stochastic RSI, and you've crossed bullish, and you've been bullish since June. Since between June and July, about mid-June of 2022, you've been bullish. I'm not selling Ethereum until it gets back up to overbought territory. Okay? So I've read the charts, I've done my chart analysis, I've done my projections. Obviously, it's not 100%. This is all probability based, so I don't know what's going to happen. But given everything that I'm seeing on the charts, and given the corroborative understanding or explanation or sort of indications, if you will, that my stochastic RSI is showing me, I'm not going to touch this or short it until it gets up here. And I know when Drew Young asked me the question, they were referring to short time frame, because they said, what do you think about ETH merge? I think what's important is first to put in everything in context. The beauty of the beauty of Elliott wave theory is the context that it provides, it allows, it affords in your analysis. You want to always analyze from top to bottom, from large to small. So having done the larger analysis and thought about the likelihood that Ethereum could really target that $500,000 to end this extended wave 5. And, you know, it could be larger. But for me, when I'm looking at this wave 5, I see it as so. Wave 1, wave 2. I think this is the end of wave 3. Wave 4. For me, it's just one last hurrah. Okay? It's one last hurrah up. And it's going to be extended. And to be honest, I don't know how I got $500,000. I'm trying to remember here. Sometimes I like chart things and I don't remember my state of mind, my frame of mind when I did it and why I did what I did. So I have to kind of do it again to understand what I was thinking. Let's see. So this is, okay. So this is, if this is what I think it is, this is wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and then you're putting in an expanded wave 5. And so if expanded wave 5 is anything like expanded wave 3, then you're looking at something like this. Let's see. What I want to do is I want to go on the weekly so I can catch these pivot points. Okay. So I want to catch the bottom of wave 3 and the top of wave 3. It's going to be somewhere here, right there. Top of wave 3, retracement of wave 4. So wave 4 came down here. I believe this was wave 4 in this extended wave 5. And basically, you got a 2618 extension. Okay? You got a 2618 extension for wave 3. Maybe it doesn't come up that way. Let's say it even comes just to the 1618. That's 400k Ethereum. Okay? And let's just check something. If this is indeed wave 4, this ABC flat correction that we just experienced in this previous bear market, if it's wave 4, then you would likely get B236 to 382 retracement. And guys, you see that? This is why you learn everything, so that you can use all of these skills, these understandings, and really put the pieces together. You still, at this point, even though this flat correction comes and hits the 382 and jumps right off the 382, and where did I pull this from? The bottom of wave 2, so which is the beginning of wave 3 to the end of wave 3 of this cycle wave 5. Okay, so this, I thought, okay, this looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. And it looks like I'm going to get an extended wave 5. This is what it looks like, okay? So I'm not touching my Ethereum anytime soon, okay, on the larger time frame. Now, on the smaller time frame, what are we looking at? Now we go on the daily time frame. Guys, if you're getting value, please like, share, and subscribe. This is literally my best. If somebody paid me, some big firm paid me money to do analysis, this is exactly what I would do in this level of at this level of detail. And then I would pretty much produce a report giving all of this information. All right. Looking at this on the daily time frame, okay? Let's get rid of our momentum indicator. This is the end. This is our orthodox low for that flat correction, right? This is my initial break of structure. This is my counter. So this is my big A, big B. So this is my first degree of consolidation reversal. I think my second degree of consolidation reversal actually begins over here. Okay, so it would go something like this. I'm trying to figure this out. I think the second degree of consolidation reversal is like this. I think this is the second degree. Okay? And then you got something like a 5 wave down here. Okay? So I think your impulse, maybe this is a pivot, maybe this is a wave 2. I'm not exactly sure. But I think you want to start looking from this point right here. I think your 2 degrees of consolidation reversal end on August 29th. Okay? And I'm looking at this. I don't really love it as a first wave, but let's look more closely at that. Okay? From August 29th. And Juyung, I haven't forgotten your question. I'm just working through it. This is how I'm answering it. Okay? I'm trying to be as thorough as possible. Yeah, I don't think... See, is this August 29th? It is. Okay. I do not believe that this is impulsive. It doesn't look right. It doesn't have the look, as Prechter would say. Okay. 5 waves indeed. But after that, it's way too... Okay, so if this is your impulse, right? It took X amount of time. Maybe took a couple days. This wave 2 correction, if it were a wave 2 correction, literally took way too long. And this is why you would use the principle of the idea, the guideline that waves of the same degree are equal and comparable or proportional in time and in price. This violates that, okay? This is way too long for wave 2. For me, this is clearly still a corrective move. This is an A wave and a B wave, kind of like a pivot. I think your impulse starts here then, on September 7th, okay? So for me, there's no way I'm shorting ETH. Because if this is the beginning of an impulse, and we are in an extension, a cycle 5, a cycle wave extension, right? All of that price action, all of that momentum is going to translate to the smaller time frames. Like, this is what I really want to get people to understand. If my analysis is correct and cycle wave 5 for Ethereum is extended, you're going to see it in the small time frame price action. You're not going to know when it's going to run, but at certain points it's going to run. So I get 5 waves here, I get 2 waves here. So on the small time frames for Ethereum, this is my count. Wave 1, wave 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 3, okay? And wave 3, and this is wave 4, get the hell out of the way. We should be able to pump into the merge. Do you hear that? We should be able to pump into the merge, because today is the 12th, the merge is tomorrow, right? The 13th, more than likely. We should be able to pump into the merge. Let's measure this wave 3. This wave 3 should be around 1618 of that wave 1. I know this may be boring for some, but this is how I do my analysis, right? From top to bottom, and I think it counts. It really pays to be thorough. Because if you're sloppy and you're just, I'm just going to say this or that, look at one indicator, like, it's easy to just get confused, get burned. Let's see. Okay, two things may be happening. One thing is, this wave 3 is not finished. Wave 3 is not finished, and you're going up for wave 3, and you're still in wave 3. Or wave 3 is finished, and you're going to put in an extended wave 5. Either way, I think you're going up for Ethereum. You're going to pump into the merge dream. Look at your stochastic RSI. You're bottomed. You're pretty much in oversold territory on the 4-hourly time frame. You go in the hourly time frame, you're oversold territory. And we're going to go into the hourly time frame in a second. Daily time frame, yes, you're crossed bearish, but you can stay in this territory. It's not like you just crossed, right? And don't be so shocked and surprised that, hey, what gives? You just said Bitcoin was going down, right? then if Bitcoin goes down, then everything else is going to go down. Maybe Bitcoin doesn't go down as much, okay? Remember, wave 2 corrects between the 382 and the 618. So if we get a correction anywhere between those places, then maybe Bitcoin goes up. Maybe this right here, let's go back to, maybe this right here is an intra-wave correction. We're at the bottom of the market, and this is why I started with the high time frames. Like, none of your important trades should be short trades. Any retracement should be a load up, okay? And if you're shorting, you should be very careful in shorting with very little and risking very little, because we're at a macro bottom, okay? So don't be surprised if things get extended and what you thought was a correction to the downside actually turns out to be just an intra-wave retracement. I still do think that we're going to retest this area, right? And that we're in the process of doing so. But also don't be surprised if Bitcoin's going down, yet altcoins are going up, because it is alt season, and you can see that, as I've shown before, in Bitcoin dominance, which on the higher time frames is tanking, okay? It's got a little bit of a relief, but look at Bitcoin dominance, right? You can see what it's been doing in the recent past. Like, you're in a downtrend, and if this breaks right here, you're going to have the altcoin season of your lives, okay? So for all of that, don't be surprised Bitcoin's going down or correcting, and then other altcoins are just front running it and moving and growing more than Bitcoin is, or at a faster rate than Bitcoin is, okay? So back to Ethereum on the small time frames, I really do believe that here, where's my, this is what I want to look at. Yeah, here. Okay, so back to this. I think we're looking at the hourly time frame. I would not be surprised if on a small time frame Ethereum were to continue this and play out this inverse head and shoulders and come up to this area of 2000, okay? So pump into the merge. So that's either going to be a continuation of your wave 3 or a part of your wave 5 extension. I think Ethereum's going up into the merge, just based off of my technical analysis. Has nothing to do with narratives or what people would do, or what trying to counter trade what I think people are not going to do, or whatever, all that nonsense. It's just, that's a terrible way to trade. It's just highly risky, very risky. Just look at the charts, try to make sense of the charts. Whether you get it right or wrong, I think it's a lot more sensible and prudent to just use your skills in charting and try to trade that, right? Forget narratives. Trading narratives is not going to do anything, right? So yeah, looking at Bitcoin on the smaller time frame, I still think we're going to get that move down. What we're doing right now, I think we're still pivoting, right? Did we still respect? So we broke. Did we break that? Yeah, we broke that 618. Yeah. So this is not a wave 1. This has got to be a B wave pivot. Yeah. Because we said if this was a wave 1, we would have stopped at the 618. Phi ratio, and we went right through it. So this has to be a B situation where you're pivoting, right? Going into your flat correction. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing for Bitcoin. That's what I'm seeing for Ethereum. This is why I would not try to short the merge. Remember, even if Bitcoin goes down for the next 4 days, don't be surprised if some altcoins like Ethereum just keep going up. They correct, and then they just keep going up. Harmony 1, for instance. Here you can see Harmony 1 on the hourly time frame. I started putting in an impulse, right? This is clearly wave 1. This is clearly wave 2. Okay, this is clearly wave 3. This was clearly wave 4. This is clearly wave 5. But don't if you're in a bull run, never assume that wave 5 is not extended, okay? Just because wave 5 tends to be the same size as wave 1, right? You would think, oh, that's it, right? And I got my initial break of structure to wave 4 of the previous trend. I'm going to pivot and then come down. You may. Or you may just continue, right? You want to always think long or give the benefit of the doubt to the bulls in a bull run. So that's pretty much it for me. Guys, we can go down the list of altcoins tomorrow. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on Bitcoin, short terms, on the small time frame. That's my thoughts on Ethereum on the small time frames. Yeah, just be careful. Even if we're going down in Bitcoin for the next few days, don't underestimate the moves to the upside for other altcoins, right? They may correct faster. So if there's nothing else, no other questions, comments, issues, I'm going to call it a stream. Guys, I hope you're having a great Monday. Like, share, and subscribe if you got value. And take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.